Here we go. All right. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody coming on in. What's going on? What's going on? All right, guys. I am going to jump right into this thing. First of all, I want to say hello, introduce myself. Maybe somebody shared this video, maybe you stumbled upon it and you're like, well, who are you? Well, my name is Tiffany Bethia. I am the founder of Tiffany Bethia International and Say Black Girl. I'm a digital branding and marketing strategist, and we host weekly brand chats. Now, some of you are probably saying, today is Wednesday. Isn't brand chat on Thursday? Pretty sure I looked on the graphic. It says Thursdays at 1. It does indeed. However, I have a speaking engagement tomorrow. So this week's brand chat had to happen today. Okay. So I really specialize in working with women in business, coaches, authors, speakers, consultants, those of you who have service-based businesses, and really showing you how to increase your income and your impact online. So I'm excited. You might see me looking at my notes, and I want to just give you guys a chance to let me know who is here. So whether you're watching this live or whether you are catching the replay, come on, say hey. I can see the number. Those of you on Instagram, those of you who are watching here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, come on, say hey to your girl. Let me know that you are here. I am excited. My throat has been giving me trouble, but I am speaking that I'm going to make it through this live stream. So if you hear your girl have to just clear her throat for a second, just don't judge me too harshly. I'm trying to get my life together, okay? Hey, what's going on, Carmela? Good to see you. Hey, hey, hey. All right, y'all. So let's get into this thing. I'm gonna tell y'all off jump that when I put my notes together and I looked at my notes, I was like, there is no way that we are getting this all done today, because I like to get in and get out. We're going to be here for about a good 20 minutes or so, and we're going to be done. And so I already know that there's going to be a part 2. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you to do, and it's going to cost you nothing. Okay. If you know a woman in business who is a coach, a consultant, an author, a speaker. She's growing a service-based business, and she's looking for ways to grow and reach more people. I want you to share this with her. See how that didn't cost you nothing? Share the link. Send this to her and say, you need to check this out. She's going to show you how to grow your business, how to get more consistent sales online. Okay. And if you are watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, I want to encourage you to follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, come on and give me that good subscribe. Come on, let's just officially become friends, okay? So today I want to talk about from invisible to iconic, right? Many of you have heard me talking about this notion of unmuting your brand. Shameless plug. I have a masterclass coming up on September 30th. Unmute your brand. If you are not consistently posting and sharing and marketing your business is silent right now. How do we get you to unmute, to make some noise, to stand out in front of the people that your business has, that needs your products and services? Okay. So shameless plug, go to tiffanybethia.com and learn more about how you can join me for that masterclass. But why did I name this from invisible to iconic? Because I want you to understand that the online landscape is full of experts and creatives and people who are doing amazing things. And if you have not taken up space online, if you have not filled a place and announced who you are and what you have to offer, then your brand might be invisible, right? If you're if you're like a lot of my clients when they first come to me and you post here and there, you're not really sure what you're doing. You just copying what people see. You do a little something that you say, but you don't have a real plan or strategy. Your brand is invisible. And I want to show you how to go from that space to an iconic brand, right? So I'm going to give you part 1 today. And then next week, which will be back to our regularly scheduled days on Thursdays at 1 o'clock, then I'm going to give you part 2 of this conversation. Okay. So let me say this, and I'm posting a reel about this tomorrow, But I have to start with mindset before I give you practical tips, because it's something funny has been happening lately as I've been working with new clients. And, it's something about that first phone call, that first session is always like just this, let's break through and let's just get in there. And what I am being reminded of with a lot of my clients is that the challenges that you're having in building your online brand isn't because you don't know what to do, it is your mindset about it. Many of you have taken classes, workshops, did a course, went on YouTube, Google University, something, and you have maybe an idea of what you should be doing in your business. I can't say that I meet with many people who have no idea. Many of you have some idea of what you should be doing. And the thing that is actually keeping you from doing it is this mindset. So let's start with mindset. This is like a bonus. This is how I know we're gonna need a part two, okay? Because give me for a few minutes here before we dive into the tactical how-tos. I want to break down some of the mindsets that keep you from doing the activity that you need to do. Okay. Number one, the first one, to be honest, is frustration with your business. I literally had a conversation with two clients within 2 days apart. And in that first new session, that was the thing that came up, was that, you know what, I thought that my business would be further along than it has now, and I'm really frustrated. And so I'm saying I'm stuck, I'm saying I'm confused, but really I'm tired, I'm over it. I thought that if I did this and did this and did that like they told me to, got a website, got somebody to design my logo, set up my this, set up my that, I thought I'd have consistent income by now, and I don't. And I'm frustrated. If I'm on your street, I want you, whether you're watching live or replay, I want you to say me, because I'm coming down your street. I'm coming down your street. Okay. So that's one, frustration. Another one is this imposter syndrome. And you've heard about it so much, but the reality is all of us experience it. There are people who are in our industry who are farther along than we are. So we ask ourselves, well, should I still show up to play? Should I still show up to the market? Does the market need me? How am I going to stand out? What am I going to say? I'm not as far as that person. Right? Here's another big one. I don't have enough dot dot dot. Insert your resource. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. Here's what I know from many people that I talk to who that seems to be the thing that keeps them from doing. It is not a lack of resources, but rather it is how you are stewarding it. So I tell people who say they don't have enough time, if you can look at your schedule and find me a 1 hour program that you watch, then you have time. You are choosing to spend that hour watching, Real Housewives of whatever or HGTV or whatever, instead of putting that time in your business. And so when we sit down to look at your calendar, I bet we can find you 1 hour a day, if not more, that you can be putting into your business. Likewise with money. Okay. Unless literally you are experiencing an emergency, which is possible. Okay. More than likely, you are spending money on Starbucks, Dunkin', paying for lunch, and all of these other things that if you shaved down those resources, you could afford to invest in your first ad or having somebody help you with social media or whatever it is. So here's what I'm starting with. The very thing that might be keeping you from the consistency and the impact that you want to see online may not be because you don't know what to do. It may be, I need to refocus my mind. For some of you, you need to revisit your why. What do I mean by that? Well, the economy is interesting. Okay. A lot of people's money is funny. And this is the perfect time to get serious about your business and about your side hustle and say, you know what? For many, statistically speaking, what I know is that for many of you, just an additional $1,000 a month could make a huge difference. Well, I'm helping my clients make literally 10 times that. What would happen if you got serious about your side hustle and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna really go hard and I'm gonna change my family's life. I'm gonna take them on that dream vacation. I'm gonna eliminate the words, I can't afford this from my vocabulary. And that be the thing that causes you to post when you don't feel like it or to do the things that you don't feel like doing. So I wanted to start there because before I give you all of these tips and tactics, if your heart and your mind are not properly aligned, you're not gonna do any of it. And how do I know? Because I work with y'all. Listen, okay, I get the honor of talking to you on these coaching sessions and seeing what's going on in your business. And what I know is that many of you are brilliant. You have such great ideas and your business is phenomenal, but you're not giving it the effort that it desires. Now, why would the Holy Spirit make me say this? Right? And but then for some of you, you are looking at the the soil and the ground of your business, and you're trying to figure out, hey, Karen, why it's not bringing forth the fruit you want. And it's like you aren't putting that level of seed in. You are not. I will never forget. I don't even know how many years ago it was. I was frustrated. I was praying about my business. And the Holy Spirit said to me, now you want to reap consistency, but you're not sowing consistency. Like, how does that work? And I was like, oh my goodness. Right. And so for some of you, I simply want you to align your activity with the goals that you have. If you want consistent income, then you've got to be doing consistent marketing. And let me ask you a question. Are your children worth it? Are your dreams worth it? Is the vision for why you started this thing worth it? Because if it is, then you're not going to allow, well, I don't have enough and I can't, and all of those excuses keep you from doing what you need to do. And here's what I know. We are, school is in, summer's over, right? This is a time of year when many people are beginning to like lock back in, okay, and realize that the holidays are coming. And then after that, it's going to be a new year. So this is a time to really get serious. How can you accomplish some more goals for your business this year? Okay. So that was a long introduction, but I told y'all it was going to be a part 2 to this. I already prepped you. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Okay. So let me give you, this is going to be a practical step by step. Okay. Those of you watching this on Instagram, you got to come on over to Facebook or YouTube to get the lower thirds, and I'm going to be sharing with them. Okay. But I got you. Okay. Also, again, for those of you who are just hopping in, shameless plug, on September 30th, I'm going to be hosting the Unmute Your Brand Masterclass. It is not a webinar. It is a masterclass, meaning there's going to be a lot more hands-on feedback, custom strategy. I'll be able to look at what you are building and working on right now. And there's time built into the day for me to give you feedback and say, okay, let's do this. Let's calculate how much you can, let's put together what you are working on. So if you want to be a part of that, there are still some spaces available. Just go to TiffanyBethia.com to reserve your space and give somebody. Listen, that woman in business who keep coming to you just saying like, I don't know, I can't get it to work. Send her to the masterclass. You say, you know what? I already know what we need to do. I got you. We're gonna set you up for the masterclass because you winging it and you need some strategy. Okay. So let's go through this. I'm going to give you 9 steps that you need to do to really build a solid online brand. I want you to take notes. So if like you at work right now or you doing something, come back to this, pin this, save the link, come back to this so you can write down what I am giving you. Okay. So number 1 is a self-assessment and vision. Now don't log off because you might be like, oh no, I know I heard this, but I want to go somewhere different with this. Okay. Here's the question that I want before you even jump. And I got logo and all that stuff on here. Nope. Far down the line, believe it or not. Before you do any of that, before you create a social media page, get logos, make business cards, and do any of the things, the first thing I want you to answer for yourself is, what do I want to be known for? Somebody put that in the chat. What do I want to be known for? This is a brand question that not only individuals have to ask, but also companies, organizations, major corporations, and nonprofits. When I work with companies and organizations, we start at this same point. What do you want to be known for? When I give the definition of like what a brand is, and if we had more time, I would ask y'all, what do you think a brand is, right? But many people would say maybe the logo, the colors, or whatever. But the brand is really the value space you hold in the mind of your ideal client. It's what they think of when they think of you, the problem that they think you can solve, and the value they believe you can add to their lives. That's what a brand is. And so before you can like do all the steps we're going to talk about, you have to identify, what is my brand? What is the value space that I want to offer in the world? And what do I want to be known for? And here we go. What do I want to be known for today? Because for many of you, your brand will evolve and grow. You have many different gifts. There are different ways that you will serve and show up over different amounts of time. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. I'm not gonna say how many years that was, but okay. And so I have served different audiences and had different same primary gifting, but the solution and how I've shown up has been different over the years. And so for some of you, it is a matter of, who am I today? How do I want to show up in the marketplace today? What do I want people to know me for today? Right? So for many of you, you might be in a space of rebranding, of reintroducing yourself. I would say that I'm also in that space. So I've talked very candidly on here about being on. I took a complete business sabbatical at the end of 2021 into 2022. I was like, nope, tired, need a break, need to breathe, not doing it. Right? And so I didn't really relaunch my business until earlier this year. Now, I've been doing this for 11 years, so it wasn't hard to do, or there were people who were familiar with the value that I offer, but I still needed to say, like, here's who I am in the marketplace. That I show women, coaches, authors, speakers, service-based business owners how to grow their audiences and how to make more money. Let's get to the money. Like, I had to still introduce myself that way. I needed my audience to know that if you're trying to figure out how do I sell more of the thing, that I'm the person who can answer that. And so how did I do that? Through content, through testimonials. I had one ad that literally had one of my clients who made 30K. I did a case study and I had that ad going. Why? Because I wanted you to know I made her 30K and she's not the only one, and I can do that for you. So that's the way that I introduced. But it started with me answering the question, what do I want to be known for? What solution am I called to? Here are a couple of nuggets for you. I want you to understand your unique value proposition. Here is something that I find myself having to say a lot that would make me feel like Captain Obvious, but I realize isn't the case. There are other people who do what you do. Okay. Now, that's not to be discouraged, because here's the good news. They don't do it the way you do it. We still need you. We still need your authentic approach to it. However, you got to tell us what your authentic approach to it is. Because if you don't communicate that in your marketing, we don't know. And we think that you're just like the rest of them. And marketing is a lot of psychology and communication. You can't assume that we know. You got to flat out tell us. When I work with a lot of clients and I look at their marketing messaging, there's a lot of like, duh, obvious stuff that they leave out because they feel like, well, won't people know? Nope. You got to tell them. Okay. So, what sets you apart from the other people who are in your industry? Well, I know for me, a lot of women, listen, women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, and especially Black women. But you know what I also know? Our income is not measuring up. So what it tells me is that for my target client who I work with, they've launched the business, they've got the idea, but that business bank account is saying, hey sis, right? And I want to help her get to more sales. I want to help her stop being timid and inconsistent and stand up bold online and say, here's who I am, here's what I have to offer, right? So that's what sets me apart. I'm not just interested in your colors and the beautiful creative parts that a lot of women entrepreneurs tend to be into. I am into the numbers and the sales. And my clients will tell you that we'll get to the colors, we'll get to all of that, but I'm going to start hardcore with the strategy and the numbers. If you tell me, Tiffany, I'd like to make 15K this month, I'm like, bet. Then I take a look at this, and this and say, okay, here's the strategy. Here are the numbers, right? And to be honest, that is not typically a female feminine approach when it comes to business. And I know because I've been doing this a long time. So I'm giving you that so you know that I had to sit and think about what separates me. What separates you? How do your counterparts move? And how do you move differently that you can communicate and illustrate to your audience? I cannot believe I'm still on number one. This, I don't want this to be three-part, but I mean, if it's got to be three-part, it just got to be three-part, right? So that's number one, a self-assessment and vision. What do you want to be known for? Okay. Number two, who is your target audience? I know. You hear this question so much. But can I tell you something? I've been doing this work for 16 years. I've been working for myself 11 years. A lot of y'all don't know. Let me tell you how, let me tell you why I say this. Many of you have an idea of who you would like to serve, but a very specific niche audience. So here are some of the answers that I get. I'll say, oh, who is this for? And people will say, women. Well, what women? I'm like, is this for women who are 18 and just starting college? Is this for women who are 60 who may have an empty nest? Is this for women who are about 40, who are somewhere in the like what? And there's so many different and the thing about the target audience piece is it's not always demographics, meaning like age, gender, income level. Sometimes it's psychographics. Sometimes it is life experiences. Case in point, your target audience could be new moms. Well, to be honest, a new mom could be 14 or 40. Like that age isn't going to necessarily be the defining marker for that, right? It could be for first-time home buyers. Same thing. I bought my first home at 24. Somebody could be 44 buying their first home. So age wouldn't necessarily be the so I don't want you to always think that you only limit yourself to the obvious like age and gender and income and marital status because what sets you apart and who you're called to serve might be through a life experience. It could be divorcees, right? It could be corporate women who have reached the C-suite. So I want you to get more creative and really think about your life experiences. I always tell people that when it comes to knowing who your target audience is, at some stage in your life, whether recently or a while ago, you have been in their shoes. So for those of you who, and I feel led to say this because in all of my years of doing this work, I know that people get really stuck with the target audience stage. And I mean, I just never would have expected it when I first started coaching. I've had clients really need like weeks and months to sit with and to really go deep inwardly to figure out who am I actually building this for? Who am I called to serve once we try to go deeper? And so one of the things I typically ask them to unlock is I ask them to tell me about their story. Now, there's a very specific way I ask that, but I can't get at the y'all for free. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, come on. But there's a very specific way that I ask it. And when I ask that question and they begin to answer it, we always unlock the very piece that is connected to who they are called to serve. Okay. Now, some of you right there just said, okay, well, wait a minute. How do I get, I need to figure that out. I need that session. Go to tiffanypathia.com, okay, and book your breakthrough call, okay? You click the work with me page. It'll give you the link to work with me, or you can just DM me. You might be like, I can't do that. Just DM me and I'll send you a link. But some of you are stuck there. You don't know who you serve. And before we get to the rest, all of the rest of the marketing pieces that I'm going to give you are completely shaped by these first two. If you're not super clear on who you want to be in the market, how you want to show up, how you set yourself apart, the solution, why your audience is struggling with that, and you know that they're willing to invest to solve it, and knowing who your target audience is very specifically and where you can find them and get in front of them. If you don't have those first two pieces, all of the rest of them are going to be a struggle. Everything else I say is going to be like, I can't figure it out, right? And so I really want to encourage you, if you're taking notes, note takers are world changers, right? Hello there, Ricardo. If you're taking notes, jot those two down and really take some time in your reflective time. Do I have a clear answer? Okay. I am opening up a new Facebook group. It's not open just yet, but I'm going to be opening up a new Facebook group soon. Unmute your brand, where I can really give you feedback and walk you through. But in the meantime, I want you to DM me. If you think you have an answer to number one and number two, and you're like, I'm not really sure, I want you to DM me your answer. Tell me about your unique value proposition. Who do you serve? What solution do you offer? I'll be able to give you real feedback of, is it specific enough? Is it pinpointed enough that you can build a viable brand around it? Okay. So, and that's going to be a whole nother live stream, because I do want to do a live stream talking about, like, how do I test this? How do I know that this is something viable? How do I do the research to figure out, are people going to pay for this? Is this a good idea, but it won't make money? Will it make money? So I'm definitely going to talk about that in another live. Okay. Let's see, what time is it? Do I think I can get through? I'm going to get through one more, and then I'm going to wrap this thing clean and then part two, we'll pick it up from here. Okay. So I've talked about some number one, self-assessment and vision. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the market today? Right? Because many of you are like, I'm good at a bunch of different stuff. I like a bunch of different things. So who are you today? How are you serving in the market today? The second one is your target audience in very detail. Number three is going to be your brand aesthetics and your voice. I could do a whole stream on this, but I will not. I will be disciplined and keep it short. Okay. These are two different things. When we talk about your brand aesthetics, we're talking about maybe the colors, your brand palette, the images, the style that you use. And thank you, John. One of the things that is so funny to me is, outside of my day job as a digital marketing, I'm also a performer and a singer and an artist, right? And it took me a long time to see the connection between the two. But one of the things that I also use as a unique thing that sets me apart in my industry is that, because I'm also creative, I understand the numbers of marketing and all of that, but I also think like a creative director. So I'm able to take the idea and produce the idea, right? Like I would a show or a dance. So I know how to choreograph. And I realize, like, man, I bring that same skill to the creative. Understand that once you know who you serve, your aesthetics have to be creatively produced to match them. You cannot have a luxury brand, right, with $5 visual marketing. It's not going to connect. Like the people, the women, or whoever you've created that brand for are going to see that and be like, no, And so when you see Lexus and some of these other luxury brands, their visuals match that. Why? Because they're talking to a specific person. Okay. The brands that are specific to, discount and cheap, they look like that. They want you to know, yep, nope, this is affordable. So you have to, not only in your colors, right? So let me talk about that for a minute. With your colors, when you need to be thinking about, am I talking to women? Am I talking to men? Am I talking to both? So my current brand is to women. But before this, I was doing, and fellas, I do still work with a few 5-star men, right? I have two men right now on my docket to speak with, to do a breakthrough call with me. So I do still make space for the phenomenal men, but my brand is primarily for women. So you know what? I'm able to use the pinks and the peaches and the colors that really speak to their senses. However, when I had Kingdom Boss, which was a co-ed brand, there was no pink, there was no peach, because the fellas wasn't going for that. And the colors would have immediately told them, this is not for me. There is a whole psychology of colors. John, you funny. Yes, I do. Okay. Listen, yes. So listen, over here on Instagram, Carmela said number 3 reminds me of the Payless experiment. They did an experiment with Payless where they took the shoes and they moved it to like another section of the mall, and they created like a whole it wasn't a store, but it was like an I don't know why I can't find the word, but a part inside the mall, and they literally zhuzhed it, if you will, with all of this luxury branding. And they it was, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it was something like crazy, like 5 times or 10 times the original price that they marked up the shoes. And y'all, people bought them. They were the exact same shoes. So thank you, Carmela, for giving me that example. They were the exact same shoes. The only thing that was different was the branding. I got another one for you. Tiffany's, okay, which, I like that store. Can you wonder why? Tiffany's has safety pins that are like 3 and 4 figures. Can't you go to the dollar store and get a safety pin? Why is your safety pin so expensive? You know why? Because it's from Tiffany's. It's all about the branding. And so understand that no, it doesn't start with the visuals. It starts with the promise, the solution, who your audience is. But once you get to the point of the creative has to match who you're trying to reach. And this is your colors and your imagery and the tone that you set creatively and visually, that I should be able to look at your brand aesthetic and know who you are for. Also, your visuals and your brand aesthetic have to align with your pricing, right? You could be a house cleaner, a gardener, a landscaper, but you may still want a luxury clientele. And so you say, you know what, I really would prefer to work with people who have this income level. We charge a little bit more, we give a little bit more in our service. Then your brand visuals, your website, your logo, and everywhere I see your marketing has to align with that visually. I can't look at it and it look like the discount brand, but then when I see your price, I'm like, oh, they charging, huh? Right? Because your visuals are going to draw your person to you. Now, in my last few little minutes, right? The second piece of that, so I said that step 3 was your brand aesthetics and voice. Now, I probably could have broke these out, be honest with you. Okay, me and Chat GBT put this together, and we worked on this together. I really treat Chat GBT like it's a person. Okay, y'all pray for me because I think Chat GBT is my whole girl. Okay, me and Chat GBT worked on this together. But if I wanted to, I could have made this a separate one, because your brand aesthetics is your imagery, but your brand voice is your messaging. Now, this is one of my specialties. Okay, so you're gonna see me coming live in like a different way. Okay, but I am a trained direct response copywriter. Okay, and so I want you to know that, literally have written on $1 million campaigns. Okay, got to give you that context so you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, your brand voice is everything. Now, I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this, because last week's topic, ironically, I did a whole live stream just talking about attractive marketing messaging. So if you want the nitty gritty, okay, it's here on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Just go to last week. I gave you some very practical how-tos of how to create magnetic, attractive messaging that makes people go, ooh, what are they talking about, right? So, but here's what I will say. Your messaging is everything. And when it comes to creating your marketing messaging, it is much like building a relationship. Your family, your spouse, your children, you talk to them the way you do based on how well you know them, the things that interest them, the things that pique them, right? My son is a footballer. Now, that's what that's called around the world. Here in America, it's called soccer. Okay. But, we call it football because that's what it's called around the world. My son is in Spain right now. He is a footballer, he is a serious soccer player. So I talk to him about soccer because I know he loves it, right? You will connect better and best with your audience the more you know them, the more you have taken time to do market research and understand Two things I talked about last week: pain messaging and promise messaging. Now you got to go watch the live stream where I break it down, tell you how to gather it and other things. But there are two pieces in your marketing when it comes to your brand voice. Y'all, this is all before we ain't even talked about no website or social media or none of that. This is the order in which you should be doing this. Your brand voice. What does your audience say about their problem? What do they say about their solution? What are they frustrated with right now that you solve through your products and services? And what do they say about what it will be like once the problem is solved? Because your marketing messaging is going to have to speak to both things. You're going to have to be able to rope them in by agitating the pain. Case in point example for me is I know that my target audience, they don't know how to make consistent money online. They make money, but it's like, it's like drops, and it's like it's like a spurt. They live in word of mouth referral land, which is inconsistent and unpredictable. They don't have a marketing system yet. They don't have a machine where for every dollar I put in, I get this back. So I agitate that pain. Isn't it frustrating? You can't control word of mouth. You don't know when that next referral is coming. You need a system that you can control to make the money you want to make. Then I can also agitate the promise. I know that for my target audience, the promise is that they want to, some of them, real answers, they want to stop working a job they hate. They want to stop clocking into a place they hate because they have to. They want to pay off debt. They want to travel more. They want to build wealth and something they can leave for their children. So when I talk about making more money online, it's, if you have ever paid attention, it's never just for the purpose of making money. It's why that you want to make the money. Because aren't you tired of going in places and saying, I can't afford that? Well, we can fix that, right? Your business can become the ATM that says, oh, I got it. I'm speaking to the dream outcome. I'm speaking to the wealth building. And if you notice, I talk about impact and income online. So the second piece of that for my audience is that they also have a calling. There's something that they feel called to do. There's something that they're passionate about. And I'm like, aren't you tired of sitting on that? Aren't you ready to be more fulfilled in the thing that you're called to do? So that is my brand voice, but it came from understanding who my audience is and what they have to say about that. Okay. So let me do a wrap up here. So just a reminder that our usual brand chats are Thursdays at 1. You saw the graphic correctly. Next week on Thursday at 1, I'll be back here for part 2 of this conversation, a step-by-step checklist. If you haven't noticed that, that's what I'm giving you. So I want you to be writing it down. So here's what we talked about. Number 1 was 0. I gave you a bonus. 0 was mindset. What's keeping you from doing what you need to do? If you're not consistent, what's the problem? Are you frustrated? Are you tired? Are you overwhelmed? Are you not allocating your time well or your money well? And how can you sit down and really get quiet and pray or do whatever you need to do to say, I got to get past this mental roadblock? I've been talking to so many clients for whom that has been the case. Girl, you got time? You just tired of this business. You're frustrated. Well, let's address that. Then I can give you a strategy and we can rock out. Okay, so that was 0. That was a bonus. Number 1 was a self-assessment and vision. What I want to be known for. Okay, keep it third grade simple. With all of this, keep it third grade simple that a child can understand. What do you want to be known for? What is the value space you want to take up in the mind of your ideal client? When they think of solving, what problem do you want them to think of you? Okay. I always make it clear. I'm the person you call when you like, we need to get to the money. I done paid a lot of money to start this business. I need the money back. I'm that person. Okay. Number 2 is target audience, a specific niche audience with whom you are becoming the specialist. Because that's what people are looking for. And I probably didn't say that, but I say it all the time that in this current digital climate, people are looking for specialists. We can Google the basics. I need you to come in and tell me something I can't Google, right? So what target audience are you becoming a specialist with? And number 3 was A and B. was your brand aesthetics, the visuals, the color, the logo, the feel visually that you are curating for your brand. And then, secondly, the brand voice. What is the messaging that you are using to draw in the people who need what you have? All right. We're going to pick it up. I gave you 1 through 3. I still got 4 through 9. And based off of today, this gonna be a 3-parter. Okay. So I'm not even gonna force it. We're gonna eke this out piece by piece. Eke this out. You might say eat this out. E-E-K. We're gonna eke this out. Okay. Week by week. You know why? Because I really want to see you be able to take these things and implement them step by step in your business. If you are working through some of the pieces that I'm talking about and you want feedback, I want you to DM me. This is real. DM me. Tell me, like, well, this is what I think my target audience is, or here's what I think. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over to Instagram and send me a DM, because I want to see you get some real change. Okay. Lastly, I am going to be going more in depth on all of these concepts on September 30th in my Unmute Your Brand Masterclass. If you are not consistently showing up online with precision messaging and marketing, your brand is invisible and you may not be making the money that you want to make just because we don't know you're here. Let me help you solve that problem. This is going to be a hands-on interactive training where I'm going to be reviewing your brand, giving you feedback, showing you the things I've done for my $1 million clients, and even the clients who have just done 10K and 30K a month, because I want to see you go from where you are, where it's like, it's not consistent, into the place where it's thriving and it's overflowing. Okay, you can go to tiffanybethia.com and register. If you know a woman in business, you see her keep posting, tagging, hoping, trying to get something off the ground, send it to her. Share this with her. Invest in her. Give her a gift. Say, I registered you for this masterclass. I know it's going to help you get your business off the ground a bit more. All right, guys. So let me put that up here as a lower third. Also, shameless plug, I send out a weekly newsletter. I give tips, I give nuggets, I give funding, I give all the good things. And you can go to, now, sorry, fellas, this one is primarily for the ladies because it's literally called the CEO list. Yes, I would love to come on your podcast. Just shoot me a DM so we can talk a little bit more. Yeah. So go to tiffanybethia.com, get on the CEO list, right? But I'm on a mission, y'all. I'm going to just flat out tell y'all now, I'm on a mission to see women in business kill it. I don't just want to see us have a business. I want to see us rocking it. I want to see us growing, thriving audiences in front of the people who need what we have, making incredible sales. I want to see you know how to do that. I don't just want your social media to pop. I want your business bank account to pop as well. Okay. So join me. Go to tiffanybethia.com so you can get some more resources. I got a meeting after this, y'all. Y'all know we about this thing. Okay. So I'm gonna go hop into my meeting and I will see you guys on next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our regular brand chat. Bye, guys.